The hard work, craftsmanship, and ingenuity displayed by ESB employees on job sites today can be traced back to a motivated 13-year-old electrician's assistant named Edward S. Boulos, who got his start in the trade back in 1908. Young Edward's first outside electrical construction assignment was inside Portland's Cumberland County Courthouse. In 1921, he started his own business, calling it the E.S. Boulos Company. His labor rate back then was $2 an hour.
How do they stay in business, huh?
Over the next 20 years, the company grew, expanding both its customer base and its portfolio. Further expansion plans, however, were put on hold when the country went to war. Edward S. Boulos Jr., who would one day take the reins from his father and run the company, did his patriotic duty piloting planes in the Pacific. Joseph, the Boulos' oldest son, was killed during his 29th bombing mission over Germany. In 1947, the company opened an 18,000 square foot warehouse and showroom on Middle Street in Portland, where employees proudly sold radios, light fixtures, and modern household appliances.
As people come in and bought the appliance or bought the lighting fixtures, and it carried on to the construction, so they'd hire the company to go out and install everything they'd bought in the appliance to them.
He was thinking, you know, if he was an electrician, he'd sell the things that needed to be installed by a professional.
The company also landed some line work in the late 40s at the Limestone Army Airfield, which became a Strategic Air Command B-52 bomber base.
We had ready the B-52 Stratofortress, which we see here on snow-covered Loring Air Force Base in Maine.
In the early 50s, Boulos established a partnership with a general contractor that performed defense work up and down the eastern seaboard. That's how ESB got involved in the Nike project, the nation's first short-range anti-aircraft missile system. From down East Maine to Key West, Florida, ESB electricians made sure these rockets launched when they needed to. The company also had a hand in constructing several Bomarc missile sites, one located on the former Dow Air Force Base in Bangor. The Pentagon also commissioned various radar installations to be built on land and on the water. Texas towers, nicknamed for their similarity to offshore oil rigs, were designed to be floating radar systems that could detect low-flying aircraft at great distances.
They were enormous structures, and we worked on these at the shipyard, the shipyard in South Portland, which built Liberty ships. It was a major project. In that group photo, Mr. Boulos, Ed Boulos Sr. is there, and Ed Boulos Jr. is there also.
The over-the-horizon backscatter sites Boulos helped build were no less impressive. The radar array in Moscow, Maine was so powerful it could detect changes in ocean currents. While other OTH sites were mothballed at the end of the Cold War, the three in Maine remained open until the late 90s. The VLF, Very Low Frequency Shore Radio Station in Cutler, continues to provide one-way communication to Navy submarines throughout the Atlantic Fleet.
I think there's 18 towers up there, the tallest towers on the eastern seaboard, and Boulos was the prime electrical contractor on that project.
Infrastructure improvements at Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, Beth Iron Works, plus the former Brunswick Naval Air Station are also in ESB's defense portfolio.
All successful projects for us. Good jobs.
Not every contractor can meet the rigorous safety and security standards required to work in and around a nuclear facility. But Boulos' knowledge and reputation won them the opportunity to perform all the electrical work on Maine Yankee in 1968. The company did such a great job on Maine Yankee, they became the only subcontractor to work on the Seabrook Station nuclear power plant. ESB also made a name for itself in New England's pulp and paper industry, where one's ability to work in tough conditions under tight deadlines was key.
We were a major player in the paper industry. We were in every mill in the state of Maine, and most of them in New Hampshire also.
I bet you we had 130, 140 guys, working 7 days a week, Sometimes you'd work 13, 14 hours a day.
High voltages, high pressure steam, hazardous chemicals made it hazardous duty.
We did a lot of work that the paper companies, electricians themselves didn't want to do. Work where it was 120 degrees up in the ceiling, work down in the old honey holes, as they used to call the septic system. We did all the work they didn't want to do.
ESB leveraged its paper mill experience to win other heavy industrial work. From wood chip to gas-fired plants, Boulos was a major player in the merchant power construction arena.
Really nobody in New England had expertise in generating stations as much as we did.
Each time there was a new power generation merchant plant, each one of those had an interconnecting substation to the power company grid.
And that's how Boulos got the attention of utility companies.
They saw that we were schedule driven. They saw that we were there to meet all the milestones. That's the way we operated.
Hitting our milestones is very much true today for the utility division. It's critical. Outages are becoming harder and harder to get for the utilities.
So we're going to be moving over to the south side.
You know, our ability to think on our feet and problem solve, being flexible to make adjustments on the fly, you know, as we need to, delivering our work safely. This is why we continue to be successful today.
We've been successful in just about all of the industries that we've worked in.
Whether we're building substations, solar fields, or large sporting facilities, ES Boulos definitely has the people and the know-how and the resources to get it done. The driveway's only one. You know, moving to a place like Boulos has been really good career-wise. You know, good opportunity, and if we do that, to been able to progress through a few different positions, which is great. You know, to be able to have that upward movement within a local main company is definitely great.
Breaker-wise? Yeah. Oh, I'm not even talking.
I'm proud to be part of an organization for the last 20 plus years, and just seeing how it has changed over the years for the better.
Sometimes I wonder if Ed Boulos could look down on us and see what the company's become, from a storefront to, you know, not just installing light fixtures and appliances now, but you know, line work and telecommunications and the BIM and all that stuff. You know, probably blow them away.